welcome back to my channel. Or if this is your first time, hello, my name is Francis. I used to be a Catholic priest, and now I'm not. Everyone has that movie. I know there's not a lot that are made nowadays that after you're done watching it, you think about it, it sits with you, it's almost haunting. It's not something that becomes just a few hours of entertainment, but something that you think about over and over again, and it brings you to a place where you start questioning things. For me, those type of movies are art because it brings you out of yourself. It's not just a passive entertainment where you are bored or you just feel like being entertained and you watch it and then you turn it off and then you just go on with your life and it doesn't do anything actually beneficial for you. One night I was watching Don't Look Up. It came out about a week ago on Netflix. Don't Look Up is a 2021 American satirical science fiction film written, produced, and directed by Adam McKay. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence as two astronomers attempting to warn humanity via the media tour about an approaching comet that will destroy human civilization. I warn you that if you haven't seen the film yet and would like to watch it without any spoilers, maybe this is the moment of the video that you should pause and stop and watch the movie and then come back and watch my comments on it. So before getting into what the media, the real life media, not the media portrayed in the movie, is saying about this film and their interpretation of the satire, even the interpretation and the purpose of the screenwriter and director, I would like to just offer some thoughts. In my mind, if anything is true, if art is true, whether that's a painting, a movie, literature, even if the person had a particular intention when they made the art, but if the art is true, then people are going to get truth out of it, no matter what that intention is. And what did I get out of it? What made me not be able to go to sleep for 2 hours after watching this? So there's this comet, and those two scientists, played by Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence, have discovered this comet. It's going to hit Earth within 6 months, something like that. Where do they go? They go to the president, played by Meryl Streep.
This is a large celestial body heading towards our planet at speeds that
I hear you. I hear you.
Meryl Streep is just, a normal politician. She is worried about her polls. She's thinking about the next election, and she wants her person to get elected in the midterms. And, her focus is on that, on success, on continuing on with her legacy. And when these two scientists come in with this huge fact that cannot be denied, she doesn't want to help. She thinks that they're just fanatical.
Certainty of impact.
Please, don't say 100%.
Can we just call it a potentially significant event?
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's obvious frustration and panic that comes from Jennifer Lawrence's character especially, but even Leonardo DiCaprio's, and they don't know what to do. So then they decide to go on The Rip, which is a news television program. I guess it's the most popular one in the movie.
We're trying to tell you that the entire planet is about to be destroyed.
Okay.
Well, it's,
And their whole purpose is to get the word out. They want people to know. They want to create some sort of movement so that something could possibly be done, because there is a moment in the film when they do have the capacity to send rockets into space and try to deflect the comet. So they're just trying to do that. They're trying to get the truth out there. But because of things that happen, namely Jennifer Lawrence freaking out on film because the newscasters just don't care, people start making her a meme, and the ratings go down for that particular segment, and people don't care. The response isn't there.
I don't understand. I don't understand. There's no response. There's absolutely no response. Why aren't people terrified? What do we have to say?
Luckily, the president, President Streep, she decides to agree to send rockets into space. Why? Because her poll ratings are down and she wants people to appreciate her and like her.
So basically, what you're saying is you're about to lose the midterms, so now it's to your advantage to act on the comet. Right?
Typical politician. When I saw Meryl Streep's character, I didn't think of one or another politician in particular. She seemed like the ideal politician. I just imagine all politics to be like that. And of course, the media has decided to label Meryl Streep's presidency as a mockery of the presidency of the big bad Trump. More on that later. Back to the story. So Leonardo DiCaprio starts having an affair with the female newscaster, and he breaks up with his wife in a very horrible and toxic way.
You want to skip the part where you feel bad for screwing my husband?
Oh, no, I don't feel bad.
And it's funny because as all of this is happening throughout the film, because we know that the comet is coming from the first 5 minutes of the film. So everything until the very end is in the transit of the comet coming to Earth, because the comet does eventually hit Earth. Sorry, I warned you. They're spoilers. All of these things are happening. They throw different shots of the animals just doing their thing. Everything's just moving normally, and people are being people. They're being idiotic in their own way. They're just living their life. They don't care about the comet coming. Some of them don't believe. Some of them believe, but still act as they used to. All this stuff is going on, and as I'm watching it, I'm thinking in the back of my head, but they're gonna die soon. So on the day of the launch of the missiles into space, and at this point, the president has come out and spoke to her people, telling them that she's going to save them, and God bless the scientists. And as the rockets are going into space, the whole mission was aborted. Why? Because the president was informed by the CEO of this huge corporation called Bash. They make cell phones. He does space things too. I mean, it definitely reflected certain characters in our modern world. The CEO of Bash goes to the president and says, hey, wait, on the comet are minerals and materials that we need in order to make more chips for cell phones and computers, that there's useful things on the comet, so we shouldn't just blow it up. This sends Jennifer Lawrence's character into a frenzy, and she is discreetly exited from the scene. She is sent off to some random town and silenced. The Leonardo DiCaprio character plays along. He's given a high position in the government, and he's on TV, he's on magazines, he's telling people to be calm because Bash is going to help them and everything is under control, until he starts questioning the ideas of this organization, that they have done everything on their own and haven't had any other scientific data. They only have their own scientists that are working on it. There's no peer review. And after his dramatic display on The Rip,
I'm sorry, but not everything needs to sound so goddamn clever or charming or likable all the time. Sometimes we need to just be able to say things to one another.
he is quickly and discreetly silenced as well and sent off, just like Jennifer Lawrence. These two scientists and another scientist from NASA who was helping them and was also discreetly silenced, they all try to get the word out still. And it's basically comes to a hashtag battle between the government and these people, the heroes of the story. Hashtag just look up, like look up at the comet that's now visible in the sky. It does exist. It is coming. And then you have the president and her crew that are doing hashtag don't look up.
And do you know why they want you to look up?
And with the failed attempts of other countries trying to send missiles into space because of some mysterious sabotage to the facilities that housed their bombs, wonder who did that. Their only hope, the hope of all mankind, is resting upon the robots of this non-peer-reviewed strategy to go up and break apart the comet and mine the materials, which doesn't work in the end. Surprise, surprise.
Now.
And in the end, the comet comes and everyone dies. Woohoo. Well, I'm leaving off some of it because I still want it to be enjoyable for the few of you who probably decided to stay, even when you haven't seen the movie yet. So you can still watch it. There's a lot of really, really impactful scenes, and it is actually funny. But why did I not sleep that night? Whenever I watch a movie or read a book or anything, I'm the type of person that puts myself into the story and I imagine myself there, and I think, what would I do in that situation? In this story, I put myself in a doomsday type of scenario, which evolved into just a normal everyday occurrence of something terminal that could happen, like cancer or any sort of situation where you know that your death is approaching. As I mentioned in the beginning, I'm an ex-priest. I stopped believing in God, not something that I wanted to do, but it happened and now I'm acting accordingly. There's a scene right before the comet hits Earth at the end where Leonardo DiCaprio is reunited with his family, and Jennifer Lawrence is there with her new fiance, long story, and they're all sitting around and they're just enjoying life. They're enjoying conversation. They're almost pretending that things aren't happening, even when their whole house begins to shake. And it's very evident that the comet hit the Earth and they're only minutes away from dying. They're enjoying life, they're enjoying each other and focusing on what is the most important thing. And the fiance of Jennifer Lawrence, who's played by Timothée Chalamet, like I said, A-list actors, he leads the whole group in a prayer. And it's very interesting, that prayer.
I ask for your love to soothe us through these dark times. May we face whatever is to come in your divine will, with courage and open hearts of acceptance.
And the fact that they decided to pray before the very end, not just the end of their lives, but the end of mankind. And I thought, and I honestly put myself in that situation, or like I said before, any sort of situation with an impending death. I thought, what would I do in that situation? Would I actually try to pray? Would I try to go back? Honestly, this happens so often. When you're in a helpless situation, there's not much you can do. You can distract yourself, you can try to numb the pain, but I think people who are in that type of helpless situation, they sometimes reach out for help, and nothing that they can see, that they can touch, that they can smell, that none of that on the material plane is going to help them, or they would do it. If I have a terminal cancer and I have a week or two to live, and if there's something out there that I need that could save me, hell yeah, I'm going to look for it and I'm going to try to do it. But when there's nothing there, people turn to God. And I thought, would I turn to God? And then that led down a snowball of questions like, what's the difference between being a few weeks away from dying or being just alive and knowing that you're going to die at some point? What's actually the difference there? And I started thinking and confronting those thoughts and trying to be honest with myself. I think the movie was really good in that way. My impression was politics, social media, popularity, being right, being wrong, all of that stuff does not matter because, guys, the comet's coming. and it's going to hit Earth. The comet is coming in all of our lives. What are we doing? Why are we playing these games, these stupid, superficial games? Why are we doing that? Why do we act like we do on Twitter and post stupid photos on Instagram and just live this dumb and numb, mindless way? Why do we do that when the comet's coming? So of course, when you watch real art, when you see real art, you can be impacted by it, and it can actually make you think and make you sit with these very profound ideas. Or you can impose your game onto the art and destroy it. You can destroy its impact and make it something that it actually is not, like CNN, The Guardian, Vox, and many other news sources that are trying to make this movie political. The Guardian, Adam McKay's new satire, Don't Look Up, a last-ditch effort to get the citizens of Earth to give a damn about the imminent end of days spurred by the climate crisis, appears to be at least somewhat aware of this defect in human nature. It's all about the difficulty of compelling the uninterested to care. In this instance, about a gargantuan comet hurtling toward the Earth on a collision course of imminent obliteration, an emphatic, if rather ill-suited metaphor. Everyone's blasé about global heating, in part because it's so gradual, because it isn't a force of instant destruction with a due date in an imminent future we'll all live to see. Sometimes I wonder if people can get their head out of their butt and their own political ideologies and actually look at the world around them and see the beauty in art, in the truth. And in this article by The Guardian and all the other articles that we'll look at, and all of them say that Meryl Streep's character as president was making fun of all presidents, politics in general. No. Trump, if anybody thinks that one political party is almost apolitical, that they don't use politics to get what they want, if people believe that Democrats are the ideal and they actually care and they don't care about their own career and they care about the people, or the Republicans are the ones who are against the media and they're selfless and they're giving them, if people don't realize that politicians, no matter who you are, no matter what political party, are politicians. Meryl Streep's character represents politics and someone abusing their position. It's not just one person. Or maybe it is Trump. Maybe Trump is the evil guy that by his decisions we're all going to die. Now let's go to CNN and see what their take is. The movie's heavy-handed premise is that a huge comet is on a collision course for Earth, but the corrupt, self-absorbed president, played by Streep, and the evil media are choosing to ignore the danger because they believe they might be able to profit from it. So far, so good. It's a climate change metaphor that should be inherently sympathetic. Unfortunately, there's never been a more hostile environment in which to use it. As Don't Look Up would have it, the biggest problem facing the world is that the gullible public and the greedy elites keep refusing to listen to the clever scientists. In the recent context of the poke misinformation and billionaires making vanity trips to space, it's a tempting position. The snag is that when science becomes politicized, whether by those championing it or those denying it, objective truth ceases to wield blanket persuasive power. As counterintuitive as it may sometimes seem, to win people over, science must remain apolitical. I'm waiting for someone to talk about the movie as I saw it. I wasn't looking at the movie and thinking of Trump or thinking of the fact that, this whole structure of the movie doesn't really help people to see that the poke or that the scientists that are going around today need to be apolitical or something. It's like, what do we have to bring everything and make it about the past 2 years? I know that when we watch things, we do watch them in context, but there was nothing about that in the movie. But let's listen to the last paragraph of the CNN article to see exactly what they mean by their critique of the structure of the movie to actually affect change in people. The champions of science must always try to leave politics at the door, just like they did in the movie, but I guess it wasn't as clear as this CNN writer wanted. Otherwise, the task is not just convincing people that the comet is coming, the planet is rapidly overheating, or the poke will protect them, all things that are blatantly, except the comet, political right now. There are scientists on both sides. This is a political question. Global warming and with the poke, they're both very politically driven. The comet is not political. It is also, so it's not just convincing people that the comet is coming and all of that. It is also forcing a huge swaths of the population to accept that a cornerstone of their personal ideology is wrong. And when the comet is this close, there just isn't time for that. This person is saying that the impending doom is so close that there isn't time to help people see the truth. Their truth, obviously, CNN's truth. There's no time to give the facts to help convince people. There's no time for that. Then what is there time to do? What are they saying is the option? Are they saying that the scientists in the movies, just like how it should play out in real life, they should have gone in and forced the president at gunpoint to shoot off the missiles and destroy the comet? This person did not see the movie. Anyway, let's go to Vox. Don't Look Up is very obviously ripped from the headlines. Very obviously. Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence play scientists who discover the comet and travel to the White House to alert the president, a sort of Trumpian figure, except with great hair. Okay, that's a funny line. Played by Meryl Streep. Once convinced this is a genuine problem, no small feat on the part of the scientific community. Like, that wasn't a part of the story, but anyway. Government officials concoct a plan to explode the comet and save humanity. But at the last moment, they throw the plan out the window because of a discovery that could benefit a giant corporation on Earth. The fact that all life will die out is of little interest to them. By the time the comet appears in the sky, a political movement has been born to convince people not to look in the sky. If we don't look at it, it can't hurt us, right? The Don't Look Uppers are quite clearly coded as MAGA types. What? Quite clearly coded as MAGA types. Do these people, do they watch movies and any villain in any movie that's coming out since president has been Trump, do they see that villain, even if it's, Maleficent or something like that, and they think, that represents Trump? Seriously, can they watch movies without imposing those type of ideas on it? Probably. But they have to write articles that say the right thing. Given who's most likely to watch a satirical film skewering climate deniers and accidentally anti-vaxxers, perhaps they prove something much darker. That even those who are inclined to agree are starting to feel so helpless that all we can do is cackle at our own imminent demise while lounging on the couch. The same spot where we angrily retweeted and quote tweet and post links about how bad stuff is. Does any normal person at this point 2 years after the demise of humanity, feel that we are reaching our impending doom? Can you make any comparison that a comet in the sky that you can see that's entering our atmosphere, that's going to hit Earth and destroy everything that's alive on Earth? Do you think that type of imminent doom is in any way comparable to the situation right now? Well, that's bleak, but it sounds about right. I chafe against this kind of nihilism, but there's no denying there's a lot of it going around. And it seems to be the next step in apocalypse tales. If you can't fix it, laugh at it. Like I said about the end scene with the family around the table, Leonardo DiCaprio reunited with his wife, the one who he was cheating on, that he realized was more important than some fling, being around with his sons and his best friends, the ones united and saying to everyone what they're grateful for, what their favorite memory was in their life. That is not nihilism. That is not laughing at their situation. Although satirical, this is something that a very wise person told me. The best type of humor is humor that's true, that teaches something. It's a way of penetrating into someone. It's like, instead of, you can have the truth and punch somebody in the face with it, and it's the truth. You told them the truth. But if you envelop it in a joke that's true, it's a true joke, sometimes it's easier to take. A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. The medicine go down, the medicine go down. And I worry that if we're not careful, if we don't look up from the TV and Twitter once in a while and remember we're still here for now, this kind of thing can be a poison pill of its own. All right, I don't want to talk your ear off, but I think it's very evident from the words of these prestigious media sources that it went right over their head. They didn't get it. And it seems like even the director, who might have had his own political ideas, he produced something that was true and something that is very helpful for people who are listening. Be a listener. Thank you for stopping by and reaching this point in the video. Please give a like to the video, subscribe to my channel, share the video around, tell people about my channel. I really, really appreciate it. All the subscribers that I have now are from organic growth. I never paid for promotion or anything. I don't have the money to do that. And if you are keen to help me monetarily, I'll leave a link in the description to my Ko-fi page where you can go and give me a few bucks, and I will appreciate it. I hope everyone has a wonderful new year, and I hope the new year comes with a new perspective, a perspective based on reality. I'll see you next time. Bye.